Hello everybody. I don't think I've done a Mansur video before, so I thought I would have a look at this one, which is titled From God, Not an Ape, to see if there were any science claims that could be rebutted. Let's have a look.
Who made us, made the world. This is why we say it's our Creator who designed all of these things. Okay? And our Creator will be unlike us, different than us. If the Creator was like us, we'll also share the same deficiency. So the Creator cannot be like us. All of us have to depend on something that is independent. Our Creator, we say, is therefore independent and self-sufficient. Didn't have a beginning, cannot have a beginning, has to always be there.
He starts by presupposing a creator, but that's taken as a given amongst Dawa propagandists.
So when I ask you, why aren't you a Muslim? Your heart is a Muslim already. Your eye is a Muslim. Your stomach is a Muslim. It follows away the law that the Creator put.
How on earth did you determine my organs are religious? They don't follow any doctrine. They follow nervous pathways that evolved. Where is the evidence a creator put them in? Can you explain why there are faults causing diseases if the Creator put the law in to be followed? Overall, that's a dumb analogy. What happens in CPR? Is my heart apostatizing? Does it need to listen to Dawa? I think any heart watching Hamza's Den would rather give up than beat again.
What it's required from you is you in totality with your soul to say, yes, I am going to willingly submit to my Creator, and at that point you can say, I am a Muslim. Individual parts of you are Muslim already. Yeah? That's why I asked you, how is your Islam going on? Yeah? Because your heart is doing its job. It's a good Muslim. It's beating. As we are talking now, are you telling your heart to beat?
No.
The heart is following changes in electrical activity. This is done unconsciously in response to changes in ion concentration. It doesn't need to be told to beat.
So it's a good Muslim. It's doing its job.
So what is the difference between the evolutionary aspect of the Muslim thought and the Christian thought? Because neither really believe in evolution. So what's the difference?
Evolution is a process which requires an agency with intelligence to drive it. Yeah?
And how exactly do you know that? Where is your evidence that evolution needs an intelligent agency to drive it?
So even if evolution, as they say, scientists say today, this is how it happened, it still needs a agency to drive that process, to program this process.
He's just demonstrated he doesn't have the understanding of how natural selection acting on random mutation would lead to the increased survivability of organisms that are better fit for their environment.
Who has the power and the will as a minimum requirement? Ability and the will to do it. Otherwise it's not going to happen. Yeah? So evolution doesn't deny or disregard the existence of a God.
Evolution doesn't disprove God, but it provides a much better explanation for the diversity of life than any creation story.
Can you even imagine, for example, the balance of nitrogen and oxygen in air that we breathe in? If that wasn't in that proportion, do you know we're going to die? Because we can't have all of this different, imagine it was just, 0.1% oxygen and just all the rest nitrogen or something else. We'll be able to live properly.
This is just the fine-tuning argument. We wouldn't be here to ask the question if the environment didn't already support our survival. This can be best illustrated by using Douglas Adams' puddle analogy. Imagine a puddle waking up one morning and thinking, this is an interesting world I find myself in. An interesting hole I find myself in. Fits me rather neatly, doesn't it? In fact, it fits me staggeringly well. It must have been made to have me in it.
If the water wasn't the properties of, I'll tell you about a little water. Do you know water is actually from the family of alcohol?
Water isn't an alcohol, as an alcohol needs at least one carbon atom. It does have a hydroxyl or OH part, so we can be charitable to him.
But it goes against the properties of alcohol in various respects. So water, even though it's HOH, H2O you've heard?
Yeah.
H2O means two hydrogen, one oxygen. But it's actually H with OH. Yeah? So if you have alcohol, CH3OH, CH3, CH2OH, all this methanol and ethanol, this is OH family of alcohol. Okay? So it behaves differently. For example, it has a specific temperature of boiling, and it boils and it freezes.
So do all other chemicals. They each have their own boiling point and freezing point. Water isn't unique here.
After a certain temperature, look what happens. You know, when you go in a frozen area, you see the water freezes at the top. And guess what? There is still water, unfrozen, behind or underneath the ice, so that fishes and aquatic organisms can live. Okay? Amazing.
If water had different properties, or if a different liquid was present, then a different life form would have evolved. This is just the fine-tuning argument again.
The water, it's, degrees it boils and evaporates and so on, it cools down. It's unlike anything else.
Yes, it's unlike anything else because nothing else is water. That's such a dumb comment. Each chemical is like nothing else.
This is like precision engineering to make life possible. If the water didn't have that property, life wouldn't even exist.
And how do you know that? Maybe life would have existed, which could be similar or very different to what we have, but you can't say for certain that life wouldn't have existed.
That's why you'll be surprised to hear the Quran talks about that God, the Creator, brought every living thing from water. If it wasn't from water, which act as the medium in which life can thrive, all chemical reactions happen in water. Even for our biology. Without this, you can't have a chemical reaction happening. So life, for example, your cells and everything like this, without water, we won't be living.
Did you need a divine revelation to tell you water is essential for life? People have known since the start of humanity that water is essential for life. Anybody who has looked at an animal or plant or felt thirsty would have known that.
Imagine you woke up one day and you saw yourself in a train compartment and no one else is there. So you can see all seats are empty. You can't see the other compartment. Okay? So you can't see what's there, who is there in the other one. So you're all by yourself and you're there, you're saying, what am I doing here? And you wake up on this train, you're asking yourself, would you say, oh, who cares? Let me just enjoy, and then you've got your bag, oh, my bag there as well. Oh, nice fruits and sandwiches. You start eating. And then it finished. And then now you're saying, I have no more food left. Are you still gonna not think, how did you get here? What are you doing here? Where are you going? Or are you gonna simply think, let's have some fun?
I'll look for the evidence for why I'm here. All these questions don't need your religion as the answer.
You're going to eventually start thinking, how did I get here? What am I doing here in the first place? And where am I going? These questions will come to you, for sure. So when you are here in this life, Jonas, it is also necessary and meaningful and reasonable to ask, where did I come from? What am I doing here? And where am I going to go?
These are all valid questions, but surely a 21st century understanding of the world answers those questions better than a 7th century one.
And you know you're going to die because everyone else is dying. So you will be asking, then where am I going after I die? These questions, we should not leave this for later and get ourselves busy with having fun, with girlfriends and boyfriends and restaurants and foods and movies and music and so on, because they're not going to help us to answer those questions.
Those things can help us answer those questions. If we do the things that bring us pleasure without causing harm, then we can enjoy our only guaranteed life.
So why does a 21st century British atheist get up in the morning?
I think you have to have worth. I think you have to feel in yourself you have worth. Friends, family, a loving relationship, just because we're human, and that's how we're built.
Some people would say that the scientific view is rather bleak and cold. Do you find it bleak?
There's no God-fearing person of any religion who feels as much awe as me when I see a mountain or a tree.
Or the stars.
Or the stars, or anything in science and nature and art.
And you and I are privileged to be here to enjoy it, even if for a short time. That's a wonderful thought.
We cherish this life. It's sacred. So enjoy it. This is all we've got.
Yeah.
And it's
Make
brilliant.
the most of it. Make the most
It's brilliant.
of it.
It's amazing.